All right, so I have to give a little account for the auditions that we had on January 6th. I think 6 months has passed since then. The whole thing is, the auditions were to facilitate another group of people that were interested in getting some Caribbean talent. All right. That did not work out too well for the artists that came out to the auditions, unfortunately. They were interested in 2 artists. One messed it up by default, which is not even his fault, but it was messed up. You don't come back to an interview and reach 48 minutes late. That is definitely a no-no according to the level of people that you're dealing with. And these guys not on jokes and games. All right. So that's 1. 2, the next person, I think they had a little bit too much of stuff on social media. And when that happens, sometimes you're not in control of what they see. All right. And maybe they went scooping around, looking more into you, and then saw something that maybe turned them off. Because I've been trying to talk to them about it, and no response. All right. So things happen. We also knew that there were a strong possibility that, look, hey, these people mightn't choose anybody, but at least if it's one thing we can say, we can we could actually we could choose some of the artists out of the audition and work with them and prepare them for a second look. All right. So that we started that process. So we selected about maybe 18 artists, somewhere around there, maybe between 10 and 18 artists. Out of the amount of artists that we called back to do over an audition, it's only maybe half of those artists returned. So I remembered that somebody once told me, say, King, if God was to come in a room and watch all the men in a room and say, hey, who wants to look like Mr. Universe? Who wants to look big and strong? Most likely every man gonna pop their hand. And then now, out of everybody that pop their hand, when you start asking and going down the line and making the checklists, all right, are you willing to go to gym 4 times a week? Some of the hands will go down. And the ones that stay remaining, you ask them, okay, are you willing to pay gym fees every month? Gym fees of X amount. Again, some of the hands are going to go down. And then when you ask them, the ones who are remaining, okay, so are you willing to have a strict diet? Some hands going to go down again. And the ones that are left, you ask them, okay, are you willing to give up pizza? Are you willing to give up the greasy fried chicken and all these kind of ice cream and all of this? Some of the hands going to go down. And what you're going to be left with are the ones who are really serious about putting in the work. That is what you're going to be left with. In our case, we didn't even get to maybe the 4th question. We didn't even get to maybe the 3rd question. All the hands went down. So they expect that, all right, you come to our audition. You get through because you are real talent. So we call you in the studio and we start to work and put out song, man, and you become a big star. That is not how it works. That is not how it really works. All right? A lot of people may think that is how it works. But when you are actually in it, it does not work like that. I kind of sure. So we are at a crossroad where We gave 1 or 2 artists the opportunity to come in and work, and still some of them didn't even show. We organized a workshop for the artists that we think have potential, that I think that these record execs may be interested in. Again, some of them came to the workshop, and you want to hear what is the weirdest thing ever? The ones with the most amount of singing ability, the best singing ability, best vocals, would you believe that those are the ones who never showed up at the workshop? All the other artists and them who, they're good, their vocals sound good. But I mean, the ones who are very much above average, who are excellent with vocals, none of them showed up. Not one of them showed up to that free workshop. It was a free workshop all day. I and everybody at the studio who works at the studio on a part-time basis, of course, came in. All right? Everybody, Dominique Campbell, Marissa, Kendall, DJ Kendall 3.0, Chris, the producer, everybody came in to support and to show that love to these artists, to show that, hey, look, listen, information is important. So all the information that we're giving you all today, we need you all to go and research it and write a report on it. And if you don't write a report, just copy and paste the information from Google, all right, and put all the information together and come back. And the songwriting format, write a song to that format and come back. Listen, out of about 7 to 11 artists, only one showed up with their report on a paper. Only one. And that one artist, they attempted to write a song, but it wasn't, well, you know, everything is practice. So you have to keep doing it over and over. So it wasn't really ready per se. Okay, all right, so we could take it to the production state now. Because sometimes, even if you write a good song, then you have to look at, can my vocals sustain this song? Is it a song that my vocals is going to sound great with? Sometimes it's a great song, but you may not be executing it in the best way. You need to execute it. Listen, that one artist never came back. Never came back to say, well, okay, I went and I work, and now I'm here again. So it just goes to show, if we don't filter out artists, we are going to be wasting our time with artists who, it's not to say that they're not serious, you know, it's just that they hoping that something can happen for them. But we're not looking for artists who hoping that something can happen for them. We're looking for artists that are willing to work and persevere. Because guess what? I wouldn't always be around. I don't want to know that whatever resources we lend onto these artists, it was just a waste of time. I've been doing it for years. And after 10-15 years, you tend to gain a lot of experience, and you tend to be a little more judgmental, because now you can say, okay, well, that type of artist, how he behaving there, I don't think, nope. That one, nope. This one, yeah, could work. Right. Because one of the artists and them at the audition, whether I didn't even hear the person sing, but just by their attitude, their discipline, the way in which they lined up at the audition, the way in which they complained about things, I said to myself, this is interesting. This artist is definitely different. Definitely, there is something here. And then when I heard that artist sing, I was like, yes, this is the artist. This is the artist. And then guess what? This artist could sing better than every other artist that came to that audition. So you know that was like my number one choice to work with. I love his attitude and everything, right? But guess what? When it was time to start meeting and putting things together, he was late, didn't come on time, and he didn't come on time because of other people kept him back, right? Other people that thinks that they need to be around now to help him, to support him. No problem. I welcome it. But please do not interfere with someone's progress. You have to respect that, okay, if they need to come back for an interview for 8 o'clock, you need to respect that time, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever time they gave you. Not because you have talent, you're going to walk in whenever you want. That's wrong, right? Playing out, wrong. And you don't know who looking. You don't know who looking at you to invest in you. And it's just these little things. Nobody say that you can't be on, you cannot be late. Things will happen. We cannot predict time. We cannot predict the weather. We cannot predict even accidents. Accidents do happen. But when there is none of these elements involved, why are you late? And that is a question. So, okay, because of the level of talent, I pursued this artist. Imagine that. I pursued that artist. And I would be calling and no. Sometimes they answer, sometimes they didn't answer. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't respond. Sometimes you tell them, you want them to do X, Y, and Z. They ain't taking you on. Because remember, they have talent. They know how good they are. Right? And I kept telling them that, listen, not because you have the talent, you think that I would just jump and invest in you, because I've seen it. I've seen it happen already, where most amount of people, the most talented people, they reach nowhere. It is always the ones that just barely grazing, just barely making it. Those are the ones who just push, and they will go and rehearse, and they will take vocal training, and they will, for years, they be hanging. And by the time they succeed as an artist, you will never believe that they weren't all that talented. They are not the most talented. You will believe me. Would you believe me if I say to you that Beyonce is not naturally all that talented as how she is now? She was not as talented or skilled. That's the better word to use. She was not as skilled and refined and professional as years ago when she started singing was it Destiny's Child? Some young female group she was a part of, and she was not even the lead singer. You could imagine that. She wasn't even the lead singer. Because there's something that happens. There's a little bit of arrogance that takes place when people know that they could sing. It makes them just stay behind. It is just end up keeping them back. Maybe people just need to know that they need to push. Otherwise, and listen, the one artist in that audition, I think, that has the weakest vocals, that person perseveres. And let me tell you something, that will be the one artist I would stand by every time. And once the studio is finished with its transitional period of changing how we internally work, that artist is going to be the first artist we are going to invest in. Rest assured. Because I am almost certain that by the time that artist, something big happens for that artist, people wouldn't even know that his vocals used to be as weak as it is now. Because he is persevering. He is working hard. I don't know why. I don't know why when artists has talent, they do nothing. They wait for everybody to come to them and offer to do things for them because they think that that's how it's supposed to be. When the truth is, I mean, you know what, yeah. And there's so much of singers out there. Nothing wrong with being confident. Again, confidence is knowing the facts. And when you are confident, you tend to be more silent, you tend to say less. But when you are arrogant, you know, your attitude is like, I am this, I am that. I could really sing, I could think, I don't want to do this, and I don't. So we call you, we say, hey, somebody want to meet you. We have a millionaire here. Let's call him a millionaire friend, a millionaire partner. Right? I don't even know if the man is a millionaire, but he lives like a millionaire. You know, I honestly don't know, and to be honest with you, I don't care if somebody is a millionaire or not. What I look at is the interest. Once someone shares an interest that, hey, look, listen, I don't mind working with a little young artist, you know, huh? I happy to pick up my phone and call the artists that I think that can benefit from that. And when I pick up the phone and call and say, hey, we having a meeting, come in. I want you to meet somebody. This person, trust me, if this person like you half of your work done. And you could turn to me in the same breath and tell me, you can't make it because you have a performance later on in the evening. You didn't even ask what time we could meet, what time we wanted to meet, nothing. That's your first response. That is a turn off. That is a real turn off. But yet still I persevered. So you see, I still persevered. They called back, they said they will meet. We met. And when they met, the guy didn't like the energy of the singer. And that boy, we wanted to do Trini vibe. Soca, groovy soca, any which way that could identify that you that can identify you as a Trinidadian artist. Why? Because remember, somebody who's going to invest into you, they are investing in your dreams, yes, but they may not see your dream the way you see it. All right? They are going to invest to get back money. All right? And once money is involved, then you have to think about how am I going to make back the money. So it is only natural that somebody who's into business and who understands the music industry understand that in order to sell you as an artist, in order to put you out there, something needs to be different about you. What can we sell? What can we bring to the industry that is different and fresh and new? And you say, well, me, because I have a different voice. No, you don't. You have a voice singing like this artist or like that artist, so you're not new to the public. What else can we do to make you look different? And one thing we know for sure, pretending to be an American and pretending to sing like a Canadian and pretending to sing like if you're from Dubai, it really does not matter, because then you lose your identity when you try to do things like that. Be Trini, because that is maybe the number one thing that might make you stand out among the millions of artists all around the world. All right, you just have to be the best Trinidadian singer. You have to be the best Trinidadian artist. And how we do that, we have to implement proper brand development with you, artist development. Make sure that when we put you out there, you can shine. It is a little bit bigger than us, you know, because what we want to do as Trinidadians, we think we know what we're getting into, but we don't know what we're getting into. Even as a Trinidadian artist, one of the best Trinidadian artists have been trying to win a Grammy Award for years. They tried doing all kind of thing. They joined the Grammy Award committee and had to spend this big set of membership fees every year. And I mean, just to get nominated, you don't know the kind of struggles and challenges that is yet to come. So if it is at this early age, at this early state, an artist's state of mind is that, boy, is the baddest thing, boy, and you could show up to studio when you want, people waiting on you, and your attitude is like, if you don't win a Grammy Award, well, then you're wrong. You have to be so persistent and so careful with what you agree to and what you don't agree to. You know, so this industry is not what we think it is. It is not what we think it is. All right? It's like a job like anything else, but the problem with it, there's a lot of chaos in it. Because why? There is no rules, there is no regulations, there are no policies, there are no industry policies. The only thing we get closest to with industry policies is with copywriting and intellectual property. All right? Usage and ownership and distribution of funds and that kind of thing. But other than that, there is no real way to become a professional artist. Not like, all right, there's a chartered way forward for someone who wants to become a doctor. There's a chartered way forward for someone who wants to become a lawyer. You know, you have to do certain, you go and you do a degree in law. After that, you may have to step up to the bar. You have to, right, you know what you have to do in that path, in that pathway, career path. But in terms of being an artist, it is so wild card. It is so all over the place, and at least it looks like that. It looks like chaos, but the truth is, you just have to organize yourself. You just have to organize your mind. You just have to organize your internal way of how you process the industry. Because once you can do that, once you have the information, you will be able to move forward a little bit easier. You'll be able to navigate a little easier. That is all the artist development program does for an artist, you know. It helps to prepare your mind to deal with some of the challenges that lies ahead. So, with the audition, those artists weren't even interested in developing themselves. All they were interested in, I mean, I feel as though like we at EM, I have to say we because my entire team share the same views that these artists are not serious. But then again, for me, how you mean they're not serious? And they come to the audition, they came, some of them came on time, some of them came late, but again, they came. So obviously there is some level of seriousness, there is some level of commitment. I think the challenge is they don't know what level of expectations, or how to put it, boy, the expectations is different. So they come to an audition, but they expect to be chosen, yes. And when they are chosen, they expect to be given opportunities. And these opportunities, they expect to bust, and bust big, international. Now, they also know that there's a possibility that that may not happen. But to come to the audition, they would have had to, condition their minds to think positively and say, hey, this thing is for me. This thing could happen. This thing could really happen. So when they start experiencing some red tapes and delays, the studio didn't call, nobody calls, nobody is telling them good things, right? They would lose interest. But that's the thing. If you are truly serious about what you're doing, and not only that, if you think that what you see at EM is where you want to be, then there's no reason why you wouldn't. If you have other things going on outside of which you don't need EM, you don't need us, then that's good. Because then that's one less person for us to think and to take care of. Because that is what we do at our artist development program. We take care of these artists after they completed the program. We try to nurture them. We try to do music videos for them, production, keep them in the studio working, whether they have money or not. Every one of them could tell you that. We stick by their side. You ain't getting people to stick at your side like that. And then you'll say, but where all these artists going? You know, I could show one artist here now. Up. Put it here. Let me see what's going on here now. Alright. So now I just have to expand this page. Nice. So now we can see 0. Right? Closer is the name of the song. Just want to highlight that. This is something she's actually part of our studio in terms of she has always been an integral part of our studio. Maybe I can play this and keep it muted for the while. Maybe. Yeah. She is serious about her craft. And if she could do it, anybody could do it. I am almost certain of that. If she could do it, anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. You know, you just have to put the time in and the effort into doing it. You know, and just get it done. Just get it done. You know? It's like she is so talented with writing songs, and it hasn't been an easy journey for her either, but she's persevering through this, and her whole thing is, if this doesn't work out for me, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So a lot of us have other options, so you know, we may not tend to persevere so much, but again, this is what we look for in an artist. All right. So let me see if I could pull this from top and just get it onto you. Maybe you could hear the audio. That's right.
I've been scared of life. I've been scared to live. So much love to give. Buried deep inside, choking from within. When will mercy win? 'Cause I know there's a line, and I cross every time. In the dark, in the deep, find me here tonight. I can fake it, I can try to escape it, but I know I can't deny. We collide, we collide, we collide. And I know that it's you that I need, much closer than the air I breathe, much closer than the air I breathe. But I'm lost, and the truth I can see is that you're the only one for me. Yeah, you're the only one for me. Don't let go of me. 'Cause I know that it's you that I need, much closer than the air I breathe, much closer than the air I breathe. But I'm lost, and the truth I can see is that you're the only one for me. Yeah, you're the only one for me. Don't let go of 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 me.
All right, so if you are wondering, okay, so how come, why didn't we do why didn't we do a music video for this? Well, question is, should we? I think we should. Yeah, I think we should do a video for it, and we are in the talks. We spoke about it with Hamid out of XDA. Okay, good. All right, so that has paused. All right, so we took that from off of YouTube, right? So, okay, so back to the audition. Now the thing is, this artist came to me years ago, a lot of years ago. All right, and it never ceases to amaze me that she was not the most talented, to say, well, could sing, like Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, and she could hit 8 octaves, 7 octaves high, and no, right? But the thing is, she is dedicated. She works hard. She studies the industry. You know how much courses this girl did in music? She still needs to go further with live performances, speech. She have a lot of things that she needs to work on, but it is a never-ending road. And where it takes you, we don't know where it will. But the thing is, you have to believe in your dream to the point where you know if you were born for this, this is the only thing you want to do. If you know you are a fish, why is you trying to walk on land? Or why are you saying that my plan B is if I can't make it in the water, I will have to live on the land? No, you are who you are. Yeah, you had to do what you had to do. People that say when it comes to money, you just do things, man. You have a multiple stream of income. Yeah, so you're selling. I mean, that is good for if you want to be a businessman. Being a businessman, an entrepreneur is about creating businesses, developing it, and selling it and moving on. Or maybe having a group of businesses that one day will be fruitful enough to afford you the life that you really want to live. All right. And that's different. Or even if your dream is to be a doctor, then you know what you have to do to get there. Now, when you have a dream for being an artist, that is so open-ended, because it may never happen, even though if you try to do the best that you can do, because the best that you can do is the best that you can do, right? So I am saying that there is also a possibility that whatever you put your mind to do, you could do it. It could happen. You ought to believe that. You ought to live your life like that. You ought to know it could happen. But you ought to believe that. Don't wait for somebody else to come and invest in you for you to feel confident or feel convinced that, yeah, boy, like I supposed to be doing this. You supposed to know that all the time. And you come into me to ask me to invest my money in you. You ought to know that, not me. So when artists think that because they're real good, somebody going to come and invest in them, hardly that has happened. Hardly. It happens, you know. But in the very few cases, and right now the state that Trinidad going in, oh my God, that is another conversation. Because money tight with everybody. Businesses are on the verge of closing down. Middle class income home earners or income earners, middle class people are on the verge of becoming poor. There's a kind of paradigm shift that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago right now. I don't know if anybody really realize it, you know. But there is something hanging over Trinidad and Tobago. We don't know what it is, but we can feel it. We're not seeing it, but we can feel it. There is a aura of no hope. You know, I think the leaders, okay, we had to close down Petrotrin. All right. What is the plan? Is it that we're going to invest into solar panels? Solar energy, farming, what we gonna invest in? You know, it's like it's open-ended in a kind of way. It's like, I think that the only people that are not affected by the economy right now, or affected to the point where they want to do something about it, these are the people who have a stable job, stable, consistent income. Their biggest complaint might just be that things get a little bit expensive. But you can expect that with inflation all throughout the years of history. That is how it is. I remember my grandmother used to say, hey, you know, when you go into the market with 25 pennies, 25 cents, you can make market with that. You know? But that was back in the day. That was over 100 years ago. Was it? Like 70 years ago. Right? Long ago, a brand new vehicle, like a real top of the line, rich people, millionaire car is like $100,000. Eh? You could buy one of that. You're bad, you know. You understand? The Prime Minister used to roll in a Toyota Crown, you know. $125,000 was for that, you know. So, and now you can't afford that vehicle. That vehicle is over $1 million now. Maybe if you get a basic strip down thing, maybe you pay $600,000-$700,000 for it, you know. But so we know that things change. We know that things change. But again, the rate that the economy is growing or doing the opposite, contracting, I don't know. Everybody knows that things are tight and we think it's normal. All right. But I know it's not normal. It is by design. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, as an artist, you are a creative. It's hard for you to feel as though you are, of value to the society based on the fact that, in terms of academics, people tend to look at, oh, okay, you have this degree, you have that degree. People tend to show you a little more respect than you were to just walk up to somebody and say, hey, I just sing for a living. Yeah, where's your name? And when you call your name, they still, okay. You have to believe in yourself to the point where it doesn't matter what other people think. You know that you're an artist. That is how you want to live. You just live your life. A way will be found. All right? There are things you have to do. I mean, if you have children, now that's different. If you have responsibilities, that's different. But when your only responsibility is yourself, you can't afford to live your dream. Don't ever let anybody make you believe that living a dream is something childish. I've had a mentor once that say, Geddes, you living in a bubble, You living in a bubble. Yeah, because I invest so much money into equipment and all of that, and all I keep doing is, this artist development thing, trying to invest in artists, trying to, but right now I'm trying to come out of the bubble and just trying to follow the advice of my business advisors, that I need to start taking the studio to a place where it is business, so that is part of the transition period that EM Studios is actually going through right now. And it's not a transitional period where I am totally 100% happy with some of the changes. Like, take for instance, we no longer do hourly rates. We no longer say, hey, you could get an hour for $2.99. All that is done. If you want to record, mix and master, okay, that's a project, and the lowest you're going to pay is like $1,500. All right? And now, to me, that is cool, because every other studio, a lot of different studios, is $1,500 all over the place for years. $1,500. Right? And some studios who think that they are a little more, prestigious, or they have more skills or whatever, they charge $2,000, $1,800. Some people $3,500. Right? And yet still, you're going into the bedroom. You're going into their home, their private home, to do this. Right? So our approach as a studio has always been artists first, and the development of artists first, and then everything else after. That has always been our thing. We have always been purpose-driven more than profit-driven. And the problem with being purpose and profit-driven is that when you become profit-driven, it tends to compromise the purpose of what you do, so I am having a little bit of challenge, or challenges, as it relates to becoming more profit driven. So a lot of things that we would see the purpose in doing, investors saying, hey, nope, Geddes, you just like to waste money. You need to make money, and then you could give back. But if you ain't making no money, how you gonna give back to the people? Which is a kind of valid point. Yeah. So I had to take the little advice of the team members, some of the people who are at EM. I have to take the advice and try to look out for the team, their well-being as well. Also is important, But at the same time, we did make an effort to help artists. It's just that the amount of help and the amount of time that we would normally put into artists, we don't have that time anymore. And I specifically remembered there is an artist that we met at the auditions, and Marissa which is our communications person, she's adamantly clear that, hey, you have to work with this artist. This artist is the artist. And I don't disagree. The boy is talented. The guy is extremely talented. And again, for some reason, nothing comes of it. We have been recording him for over 3 months now and still cannot get a proper recording. And every recording session was at least 2 to 3 hours, I think. An hour for the least. Yeah. Never crossing 3 hours at one time. I mean, the mixing process and all of that, yes, beyond 3 hours. All right? And this is time that we putting out, and we were actually getting ready to do his music video shoot. So who's going to go out there and shoot? At what costs? And at whose cost? So all these things. So my thing was, if I could have rushed it and just get it done quick, then I could account for the time. Hey, we didn't use much time. We didn't, we did this quick, and look, we come up with a hit. We come up with a song that can make a difference. Look, But these artists make it hard for me to lobby for them. They make it hard for me to represent them. All right, because if you cannot even follow simple guidelines, because you're an artist, you just want to do what you want to do as you feel it and you vibe it. I cannot carry you in front of my investors with that attitude. It's people money you're playing with. And I have to look out for my investors just as much as I had to look out for you, the artist. So if you're not up to that challenge of trying to straighten out yourself, being disciplined, being on time, when you say yes, it is yes and it is not no. It is not, I don't know now. No, I don't ask me to be a part of that. Then there are some artists, they are very violent driven. They like to sing about violence and they believe that they had to be real. So when you come to me and you singing gunman this and shoot this and shoot that and check the ends and all kind of thing you're singing, and then you want to tell me you real. Now the truth is, it mightn't be real. You're just saying that to the producer to let the producer know that you are 100% vested into what you're doing. Now that's different. But when you could say to a producer, hey, I real. At one time I had to ask an artist, I said, so wait, so you just shoot people? And he was like, yeah. You want me to invest in you? I mean, think about it. You want me to introduce you to people who could actually help and carry your career forward? There's something called self-preservation. There's something called being safe. There's something called looking out for your loved ones. I love everybody I work with. So I need to have a safe environment for everybody that works at EM Studios TT. Then I remember and there were one artist in all of the auditions that had a little record, spent some time in jail. But hey, when I tell you, I totally admire that guy. Totally admire him. And would support him every little step of the way that I can. Whatever little way that I can, I will. All right? Just not through this transitional period that we're in now at the studio. But as long as we out of that transitional period, yes, he is another artist that I want to help. All right? It is commendable to see how he maintained himself. You know, he maintained himself in a positive way, working, doing a job, living good with people, you know, trying to be the best that he can be with his music. I think he have a child on the way. He is totally a man, you know, wanting to take care of his young one and the lady to be. You know, when I see youths like that and they trying, how I ain't going to help? I must want to help. But the question is if I can, if I could. And people say, yeah, all you have to do is just put me in the studio, boy, I go record and do a big tune and thing. And I know it do operate like that. And I'm not going to waste my time to do that. Because if there is no branding behind what you do, if there is no follow-up, doing one song is not going to help. Especially if it's just a good song. Because the challenge with getting a hit, you doesn't know if it's a hit or not. That is the challenge, and it is always a risk to invest the time and invest. But once you get the hit, then your branding have to be on point. Everything else about your business, the way in which you present yourself, has to work. Because you could get a hit, people love your song and they don't like you, you know. It could be like that too. It happens, and that is what we call a one-hit wonder. Sometimes you get a hit and you don't even know how to deal with people that may step to you to do business because they're not even ready to do business. So opportunities may come and pass, and before you know it, the song run and gone, and you still left behind trying to pick up the pieces and trying to pick up the momentum that the song done gone with already. Everybody love the song, everybody downloading the song, everybody, oh my God, the song, but the promoters don't want to work with you, and the promoters that want to work with you, they're calling you and they expect you to perform for free, not caring if the song that costs you $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 to record, and the music video costs you next $5,000 to film. They don't care about that. They want you to perform for free, because as far as they're concerned, you have a hot song but nobody know you. So they will tell you, perform for perform for the exposure. And you ask yourself, but what exposure I need if my song all over the place? I have one of the biggest songs all over the place. And then you realize you need a manager. And then when you get a manager, you realize, hey, God, but this manager trying to control me, boy, whatever. You know why? Because you don't have a brand. You don't have a brand for your manager to follow, for your manager to say, okay, this is the type of artist you are. And all right, I understand it. I understand you. So you see, a lot of things still have to be in place. Even if you get a hit, you have to be ready for that hit. Otherwise, it's going to run away same way. It's just that people is going to know you now. Right? And then you're going to struggle for the next 3-4 years to get back a next hit. And sometimes it don't ever work out. Right? Sometimes, luckily, you could repeat the process and do it again, and you get a next hit, and a next hit, and a next hit, and a next hit, and a next hit. So, at the end of the day, artists just needs to keep their head on. That's all. And everything will be all right. So, again, I want to say EM Studios TT, believe you can. And keep going. Keep striving. Keep moving forward. Stay positive. You just hear those words, but yo, you need to do it. Not just hear it or not just say it. You have to be positive and you have to keep moving forward. Anyway, EM Studios TT, believe you can.